Hey guys, well this is step 2 in moving to Florida. And in this video, what I want to cover on is finding a job. Now in step 1, it was to sell your house or get out of your lease so that you can live in a liquid asset form and so that you have the ability to quickly make a decision to move. That's why step 2 is finding a job, not step 1. Because when you go looking for a job, I can tell you from experience is what someone's going to ask you. If you're looking for a job in Florida, they're going to ask you, are you currently a Florida resident? And if you're not, what is your living situation in your current state? Because they go through this all the time. Many people want to come to Florida, but they are not positioned to come to Florida, meaning that they're just in the beginning process. And you don't want to call them when you're in the beginning process. You don't want to apply to a job when you're in the beginning process. You want to, when you initiate a job search and when you get serious and when you're interviewing and you're having conversations with HR, you need to let them know that you already sold your house, you're out of your lease, and that you are prepared within 2 weeks to start this new job. But if you still have your house, if you're still in a long-term lease, you're not prepared to operate that quick. And for a company, 6 months, 8 months, if it takes you that long, even 3 months to change your position, many companies are not willing to wait that long. Their plans may change by then. So step 1 was liquidation, sell your house, get out of your lease. Step 2 is find a job, and it goes in that order because when you are talking to HR, and you should apply for jobs once you're liquidated, and then you should not just wait for a reply. You should Google the phone number for the headquarters in Florida, whatever company, and then you should call that number, then you should ask to speak to the HR department, the Human Resource Department, and you want to speak to someone about the application you submitted. And then when you're speaking to them, you state that, look, you already sold your house, you're out of your lease, you're ready to move on this job quickly if given the opportunity to interview or whatever it is. Because again, the fact that Florida is the most tourist visited state, there's a lot of people that after they go on vacation, they entertain the idea of moving to Florida, but they haven't taken serious steps, especially in the wintertime. So companies get a lot of people who are window shopping Florida. And when you still have a house and when you still have a long-term lease and you speak to a potential employer, that's what they think. They think, well, you're just window shopping. Even if you're serious, it's going to take you too long to get out of that commitment. I'm not saying you can never get a job while still having a house up north or still having a long-term rental, but what I'm trying to share with you is my experience and my perspective in moving to Florida down in steps. Step 2 is to find a job or even to get a transfer. Step 1 is liquidate. Okay, and once you're liquidated, you're in a serious position to take on a new job, to transfer your job, and to get going. These are serious steps if you really want to move to Florida. Now, if you're window shopping, a lot of people window shop Florida, but they don't have what it takes to pay the price, because there's a price for everything. And there's a price to move. It means you're going to have to get uncomfortable, and you're going to have to do the uncomfortable things first, and you're going to have to get used to new routines in a new state. And that's why many people, they don't want to pay that price. They want to window shop, they want to look at the goods, but they don't want to pay the price. And so this is the video of step 2, finding a job, and I broke down the reason why it's step 2 and why step 1 is liquidation. And I think based on my experience, someone who lived in New Jersey for 37 years and just recently, for the past year or so, moved to Florida. This is my experience, my perspective, and this is the beautiful coastline, the Atlantic Ocean behind me. And, it's a beautiful thing to look at. And you're going to have to ask yourself, are you a window shopper or are you a serious person ready to move to Florida?